Hermvids with Mr. Hermit. Educational videos about reading and writing. The past. It happened a while ago, and sometimes it's something you'd like to forget, but it can be a great source of inspiration to write poetry. For instance, say you were, I don't know, a huge Star Wars fan growing up, and every day on the bus to school you read Star Wars books, and you love Star Wars. But every day the kids would make fun of you on the bus. They would shoot spitballs at you and make fun of you, call you names. It's just a hypothetical, of course. You could use that pain, maybe that humor, to write a poem about your past. This is called the usable past. And I'm going to teach you how to use it to come up with poetry ideas. Past happened a long time ago, like Mr. T here, but past is usable. It's usable to write poetry, to create art, to write stories, and we're going to figure out some ways how to do this. First of all, the usable past is the idea that you can mine your past experiences for a good poem. Mining means just like taking a pickaxe to a mountain and getting coal. You can go back into the depths of your memory and find inspiration. Here are some ways to tap into your past and use it in your writing. Childhood is a great place to start, Just like this kid here feeling sorry for people in the past from using Nintendo Game Boys. Maybe you have things to be sorry about or be happy about from your past. Here's a great quote from the famous author Flannery O'Connor. She says, "The fact is that anybody who survived his childhood has enough information about life to last him the rest of his days. If you can't make something out of a little experience, you probably won't be able to make it out of a lot." That quote goes out to anybody who says, "Oh, my childhood wasn't interesting," or "my life's boring." The idea is, in poetry, you can take a small moment, some everyday occurrence, and turn it into something great. But you can also take something like childhood trauma or embarrassment or love and write a poem based from those feelings. They can make for compelling topics, and it's a bit easier to tap into emotion when you're dealing with subjects that large and intense. Another great way to use your past to write a poem is to think of the places you've been, the places you've loved, the places that you've lived in, or even the places you've hated. Many poets first start with a place that they want to set their story in or their poem in. Maybe the poem is dedicated to a place. Once you decide on it, you can decide on a vibe of that place by populating with characters, smells, images, figurative language, anything that will take your reader there or how it feels to be there. For instance, if you are a person who loves the sea, like Ernest Hemingway, you can write poetry that maybe goes up and down like the ocean waves, or takes the sensory experience of being out at sea, like the chilly wind or the salty taste of the water. Places are another great way to inspire your work. You can use something called unresolved emotion to write poetry as well. Feelings that we've all experienced, and you may argue with me here, but I think you've all experienced this, are emotions of love, anger, and jealousy. Now, there are different degrees of all these things that have different names, but you can think of times in your life where you've experienced these feelings and base your poem around that experience or that emotion. They can propel your poems forward. You can use it as a basis. You can describe a specific moment, or you can be more vague. But it's a great way because everyone who's reading your poem has experienced these emotions as well. You make your poem more relatable when you make it the focus.